Salutations, my fellow lovers. It is Matty here with week 31 of the H.A.M Radio Podcast.
And it is me, the LoneVaultWanderer.
My name's Noah. I didn't think of an intro until now, so...
Put on the spot now.
Creationists try to disagree with my arc, but I just... Wait, that doesn't make sense. Creationists are...
Great start.
Sly's a good guy.
And we have two very special guests with us this week. Whoever would like to go first, that is.
After you, Charles.
Oh, why, thank you. I'm Charles Battersby. I'm one of the hosts of GNN, a podcast on ShoddyCast, and I write the Fallout Lore, the Storyteller series.
And
who are you?
I am Austin Horrigan, production supervisor for the ShoddyCast. I am also a co-host on GNN, and I edit Hidden History, and I am currently working on a secret new show that nobody knows about.
Ooh. Is it on the Oprah Winfrey Network? Owned?
It is on the Oprah Winfrey Network, yes. It's inspirational stories of success on YouTube.
Something I can identify with.
Anyways, Charles making his grand return, and Austin finally debuting on our show. Fantastic.
Yeah, I am hard to get a hold of.
Yes.
I wriggle around all over.
I'm delighted to be back.
Yeah.
And just in case anyone is wondering, no, the ShoddyCast and the H.A.M Radio Podcast aren't involved in an eternal battle of death. We're friends.
Yeah, invisible rivalry.
That's my favorite thing. When we had when you guys said that you were when we had Brian Delaney on, they're like, "You're copying Ham Radio," and I was like, "Really?" Like,
we're friends, you idiot.
Because we own Brian Delaney's rights.
Exactly. We make his decisions. Yeah.
We leased Brian for an hour and a half to the podcast, exactly. And then returned him in the condition we found him.
Just
and a thankful gas.
Anyways, down below is t-shirts. Go check them out. We are doing a little secret project with that very soon. And on top of that, timestamps are down below, so if you want to hop around the podcast, he's here a jerk. And then finally, we like to bring on guests every week, and you could be one of them if you answer on Twitter with the hashtag HamRadioTime the following question: what character build will you be doing in Fallout 4? I figured that was good for this week's big news that we'll get into later today. But speaking of news, Bethesda News Roundup, let's dive straight in with the obvious news of the week that we talk about now for these past 3 weeks. New special video dropped. Endurance this time. Initial thoughts? I think it was the funniest one. This one was fucking fantastic. He got chopped the fuck in half, and he got ripped to bits. He got destroyed.
Cannibalism.
Ate his own foot, too. It's not cannibalism if it's your own body.
Fair point. Fair point.
I discussed this a little bit on the on GNN. I think that one was actually probably also the most illuminating when it came to possibly giving away some mechanics of how the game is going to work. As I was talking about, it was really, I think that the way that Fallout Shelter has been built with their mechanics, that actually seems to be a really big preview in how Fallout 4 is going to be working. And if you watch the section of Endurance that deals with radiation and health and stuff, you see him drinking water and then eating food, which seems to make his radiation go away, which is how it's how water works in Fallout Shelter. So it was really exciting to be like, oh, I guess water is going to be, not a completely useless item in Fallout.
Point. Right. I didn't even notice that.
It seems like your radiation and your food and dehydration levels are going to cap the maximum health you can have at any one time.
Yeah.
So if you're not constantly eating and purging the rads, then you'll be weak.
It brings about the question that a lot of people are wondering: was the Endurance video hinting at a hardcore mode?
I hope so. Fuck.
They really focused on survival, whether it's eating proper food, staying in shape, cannibalism, where worst gets to worst, that you have to eat your own
That's
foot.
Gonna be my first choice, though. See, that's not even gonna be like, I'm like, yes, this is what we're doing.
Like, I'm rolling a character based on Hannibal Lecter right from the start.
Exactly.
You're just gonna dump everything into charisma, intelligence, and endurance.
Hannibal Noah.
See,
and then just go straight into it.
Because of New Vegas, it's I think set the platform with hardcore mode. People are expecting it. I hope that we get it. Also, as well, I know people are upset, probably the wrong term, but about the companions and how they can't die. Maybe in a hardcore mode, companions can die. I mean, who knows how it'll operate, but I think it's definitely a necessary thing because many people see Fallout as a relatively easy game, even at the very hard levels. Yeah. I mean, that's entirely why Fallout Wanderers Edition actually exists, is to make the game a bit harder.
Yeah, derailing a little bit. A lot of people were complaining about the companions not being able to die, but I think it's because of the rubber banding system where it would really suck if you just walked into like this level 40 area when you're level 20 and like Dogmeat dies, but you get out alive. You're like, well, fuck, I just lost my companion. I had no idea that this was a high level area. So
reload save.
Yeah, but they're trying to avoid that. So I mean, it makes sense, I guess, but it kind of sucks. I don't know. I'm not really complaining about it. I hardly use companions in Fallout. I'm going to use them this time because they seem to be really focusing out on them. New Vegas's were very good, but I didn't like Fallout 3's.
I have to disagree at the just slightly disagree, I guess, that Fallout New Vegas is going to be informing whether or not there's a hardcore mode in Fallout 4, just because of the way Bethesda is like completely acting like Fallout New Vegas never happened.
Yeah.
And so
it's that kid that they don't want to talk about that's like in the basement. Like, so we don't talk about him around here. Sorry
I think there will be some sort of mechanics, but I'm betting it's going to be almost nothing like what Obsidian did, which I'd be okay with because I thought hardcore mode was kind of in New Vegas.
Honestly, I didn't. As a player who never had any interest to play it, like I'm the type of person who always plays it on normal. You know what I mean? Because I want to enjoy it rather than stress. Like I stress out about it. You know, I don't know. Call me a pussy, fight me. But
I take my video games really seriously. You are a fucking wimp.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Well, the video doesn't imply that there's a separate mode for this. The video implies that this is the default setup, so there may not be a hardcore mode at all. It just may be this is the way the game works. You have to eat.
I stress out so much.
So better not suck.
So. You should have seen me when I first played like Fallout 3 for the first time. I was like, oh my god, I'm running out of ammo. And then I had to go on the metro system, and I was like, oh my god, there's ghouls everywhere. Oh my god. Like, it took me like 6 days to get through that part.
I was terrible at Fallout 3 when I first started playing. Like, legit, the first playthrough, I have no fucking idea that there was a doctor in Megaton. That actually happened.
He's tucked away where if you know nothing about like open world games, you wouldn't go in there.
Megaton is like the worst city to navigate. I've been playing the game for years, and I get lost every time I go there.
I still don't have where the house you earn is, like where it is memorized. Like it's not like a muscle memory. It's like, oh, it's up here on this little slope. Like it's always I go up to like some guy's house and I'm like, this is not it. No,
this is my house now.
Brilliant.
Any other thoughts on the endurance video? Anything else that we noticed? Yes,
there was nothing about hand-to-hand combat in it, and in Fallout New Vegas, endurance was the trait that dealt with hand-to-hand combat.
Maybe I think
I know strength. Yeah,
I was gonna say maybe forced like put over to strength.
They were talking about how Iron Fist is under strength, and that's an unarmed perk, I believe. So
speaking of the perks, thank you everyone who tweeted me the perk picture 334 times. I didn't see it until I got it that many times, so thank you. I really appreciate that.
It's happening. We got the poster with the pre-order of Fallout 4. Did you know that?
No, I'm just kidding.
There you go.
Yeah. Now you have to have a painful reminder of it every day while it's hung up on your wall. But us Pip-Boy Edition owners already were getting that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Tell me. I have bills, Matt. Bills!
Wonderful for you. Speaking of wonderful things, Fallout 4's leveling system is just wonderful, is it not? It's finally been detailed. You got a presentation from what I believe was the initial QuakeCon presentation, voiced by Todd Howard. We learned a lot about it. So this is going to be the bulk of our discussion, I believe. So yeah. Where do we start? They showed us a lot in a minute and a half, I believe.
I guess we can start with just saying how streamlined I think it is now. The specials and the perks and skills in Fallout 3 and New Vegas, it was a little bit haphazard. Like, it wouldn't make sense to me, like, okay, I'm going to use a perk to increase some of my skills. Like, okay, why? But now everything is like, all right, special, then perks for each special, and ranks for each special. It's like you look at one screen and it's all there. That's the thing I like about it the most.
I always hated having to like go around and be like, wait, which which is like associated with my special and which that was a character creation nightmare for me. I was like, I don't know which one.
And once you had all the DLC for New Vegas, you've got to scroll through this long list of things that you can't have yet.
Yeah.
It's like, oh wait, if I just get this one little more point in the skill, I can do that thing. But
yeah,
and then it's just like, nope.
Yeah,
just like that.
I didn't see it all the way down there at the bottom, and now I don't know I can get it.
Oh. Yeah, and that's a good point too, because say if you wanted to get particular perks in Fallout 3 or New Vegas, you kind of had to scroll down, see the ones that you didn't have, and see what was required to actually get to that perk. Like, say you needed to get increase one of your special stats by 1 in order to gain access to that one. Now it's just all there. Like, all right, I know this is what I have to do to get this perk, and I don't have to scroll down trying to figure out the requirements. So I like that.
And not only is it all there, there's no level cap. You can be like, well, someday I will get there.
Yeah.
They do have a requirement in a sense. I mean, the perk ranks. I know that for some of those, like you have to be like level 23 or level 50. So it's not like just right off the bat. You can just be like, all right, I'm gonna go to 10 charisma and fucking dump 3 perk points into the final stat and just be OP right off the bat. Like at least they made it so that you have to earn it. I like it because you don't. I never realized, to be totally honest, until they announced that the leveling system was going to be so different in Fallout 4. How I guess I don't want to say bad, but how
different.
Yeah, like how much work Fallout 3 and New Vegas' leveling system really needed.
Yeah,
I never really personally picked up.
Well,
on
I
that.
wouldn't say it needed work. I'd just say this one is just improved. It's a different way. It's a new kind of version of doing
because like when you hear initially like we're getting rid of skills and we're turning them into perks, people were like, oh, you are a bunch of sinners, get the fuck out of here.
You're dumbing it down was the message that we were receiving from everyone. Like everyone thought it was less complex, it was more simple, it was dumbed down. Bethesda's dumbing things down like they always do, but no, it's actually complex, just presented in a simple format. That's what I like about it.
Yeah, like the amount of people who still, even after that initial character leveling video, like didn't understand it was absolutely astonishing. Like a lot of people really didn't get what this leveling system was afterwards. Like a lot of people didn't even realize initially that you could like level up your special stats, which I found was the most surprising change. It's not like the I think it's called intense training perk. It's not there anymore. You can so you can literally have 10 in every special at some point.
Yeah, so I was wrong. I was actually wrong about that. I made a video and then I was like to Pete on Twitter, hey Pete, if you play the game long enough, can you increase all specials to 10? And he says, yes, you can. And then he also replied to Vault of Daedalus, if you keep skipping other perks and just focus on them, by the time you reach level 43, you can have all specials at 10. So, yeah, interesting.
Dude, like think about that.
And then your game starts after you've hit level 4.
Yeah.
And then you come out of Vault 111.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I love the perk chart personally. I think my favorite thing, and I've been saying this for the longest time, my favorite thing about this game is the animated Vault Boys. Like how they do all these different things. It's so... I don't even think adorable is the right word.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's fun. It's awesome. It's so video gamey.
It adds a light heart to such a dark world that Fallout's in, and it's almost satirical in a way. Yeah. But
great word.
Still,
no, honestly, dude, have you tried poetry?
Thank you, dude. Yeah, I do slam poetry. No, but it's a good thing.
And they remind me of the animated save icons on the old PlayStation 2.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I remember them.
Oh god, throwback.
Showing my age.
My grandfather showed me those.
One thing
PlayStation is a fossil. No.
One thing we learned about Fallout 4's leveling system as well, which I think was one of the more pleasant surprises, was that there's 100 perk comics, which are essentially replacing the skill books, like Dean's Electronics or whatever. And they're like issues, and like each issue can give you like different perks. Which is really cool. They used Grognak the Barbarian as an example where, like, if you collect... Each one you collect ups, like, the critical damage you do with melee weapons and stuff. So I think it's awesome that they're kind of tying that in as well. Again, they're rewarding the exploration yet again.
Yeah, the skill books were something that... I don't know why. I didn't find any point of trying to search for them all.
Yeah, I didn't scour. I never scoured for them personally.
See, I didn't scour for them, but I knew if I went in like one of the grocery stores or something like that. I can't remember the name of them off the top of my head. I know I'm a sinner.
Not a true Fallout fan.
But like I know I would go in there. I would find them. I would use them like instantly. I'd be like, yes, you know. I'd keep them in the inventory.
Well,
I think I told you about that, Matt. Like that you could, when we were first starting to play, I was like, oh, you know, you can use these books and they'll, or the comics and they'll
you taught me a lot in my growing days as a Fallout fan in 8th grade where I was a skater punk.
8th grade? I think it was like
sophomore. It was 8th grade gym, though. I remember this like the back of my head.
Was it 8th grade gym?
Yeah, 8th grade gym. I remember sitting there and you're like, I've been playing this game Fallout. I'm like, what's that? And then you told me all about it. And I was like, I'm going to go play 360 out. And I did. Yeah. And I hated Fallout at first.
That's so funny because it's so true.
I was like, no, you suck.
Didn't we, never mind. I was going to start asking who we had in our gym, but that's not a conversation.
That's what the internet wants to know.
Yeah, we're getting in depth now.
We had someone named Fergie in our gym, didn't we, Matt?
We did. We used to ball tap everyone in the fucking locker room.
He became a very big drug dealer.
Yep.
Anyway.
Wow. Right.
Anyway.
Well then. And after Matty survives his court case on slander and libel.
Exactly.
I'm not the one who said anything.
Exactly.
But you're hosting the content.
Anyway.
It's Noah's channel now.
Oh, God. I'll run it right into the ground.
Yeah. But last thoughts on character system? Do we like it?
Love it.
I
love it a lot more than I thought I was going to. You know, I thought it was like a cool change. Like I thought it was. I want to say like I pinned Bethesda as this or anything, but I thought it was them just trying to like make it their own thing and intentionally changing it. But you could see there was a real purpose behind the change, if you ask me, and I respect that because it was a thoughtful change and it's going to benefit. I don't know if like. I'm going to make like a whole video on my thoughts on the leveling system, but I'm very curious how God mode you can get. That's one concern I have, because I know each perk rank is like another mini perk, but each one is usually like, 20% extra damage, then 40, 60, 80, etc. Where it's kind of like Skyrim in that regard, but it adds a little bit more to it. So I'm very curious how OP you can be. And, are these perks designed to counteract the rubber banding system so I can take on things like 10 levels higher than me?
I think becoming so OP is part of the charm of it, though.
I agree, though, yeah.
Because you have to put so much time to get to that point. Like, my Fallout 3 character is a monster. You know what I mean? But that took fucking time. Mm-hmm. So, I think I kind of look at it as that way.
Absolutely.
Well, I like to self-handicap once I get to a certain point.
Yeah.
That's just, walk around in regular clothing with one weapon. And...
That's how I am after, 10 playthroughs.
Bethesda has always had an issue with difficulty, in they just don't know how to handle it. For New Vegas and Fallout 3, it was... I hate the difficulty settings. They're stupid. They're just increasing the health and damage of your enemies, which to me is just lazy. It is so lazy. So I'm hoping that regardless of whether or not you can get OP, that they spent a little bit of time actually tweaking how difficulty handles in their game, because it just woof.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Need some Jesus.
It's these damn obsessive fans.
Yeah, exactly.
God-powered, save us all.
I mean, it would be good if, obviously they did increase the damage they did and the health they have, but I think on top of that, it shouldn't be as extreme, and rather they should focus on the AI and, how they attack you and stuff. And I understand it's an open world, but I think that would be a more interesting way of making it an actual difficult game.
There's something that just doesn't feel right about being max level, shooting a raider in the face with, a missile launcher, and he's like, yeah, you like that?
Joke's on you.
Joke's on you.
See, let's give an example. Let's say Deathclaws just became incredibly aggressive, incredibly fast, and even though they had the same health, it's fucking much harder to hit them. That could be an example of how difficulty was a bit more meaningful, and not just you keep trying to fucking shoot this thing in the head, or use a dart gun, slow it, and it still takes you 20 missiles to kill the thing.
Shout out to Draco Deathfly.
Yeah, shout out to Draco.
The second you mentioned Deathfly, I pictured his picture, his Twitter picture.
Yeah. It's the one in the suit, right?
Yep. I think it has a little hat on it. I don't know. He's gonna tweet when he hears this and he'll be like, "Yo, sons of bitches!"
I want to tweet out to him right now. Anyway, moving on.
No more thoughts on the Fallout 4 leveling system?
Nope.
Solid.
I think we're good.
Going on the other side of the spectrum, Twitch Plays Fallout 3 has started, and they have actually managed to. They have managed to blow up Megaton today. They actually blew it up. I was just gonna repeat what I said for emphasis.
May not know what I know what it is. I'm just saying for the listeners who may not know. Just explain real quick what Twitch Plays is.
It's quite literally in the name. You in the chat, you can give the player commands, and it's very chaotic. And people try to get through a game together through using the Twitch chat. And I mean, I've never partaken in it, but this is like the first one I sat down and watched for like 20 minutes of my life, and was like, wow, people spend their time doing this. Interesting.
Yeah, it all started with Twitch Plays Pokemon.
Yeah.
It was some dude in Australia. He's like, you know what? I want to set up a server. I want to set up these commands. So whenever people input a command into the chat, like up or left or whatever, that would actually feed through to the game, and therefore you control the character in game. They managed to do that with Pokemon Red, as I said. The complexity of the system improved as the game went on. So there's like a chaos and anarchy and peace mode or some shit. I don't know what it was. No, democracy. Where one was just like all of the chat commands just go straight in, and then the other one is where every 30 seconds, for example, people vote on the particular command to choose, and then that command gets chosen. And that's how they actually... I think they beat Dark Souls.
Jesus!
No way.
That's
I think they
crazy,
did.
dude.
I think they did.
How?
They beat one of the hardest bosses. It was... I don't know.
There's no way they beat that...
that's fucking crazy.
I forgot what the boss was in Dark Souls, but it was like... a giant fat thing. I think it was like Smog and something else, and like even a skilled player.
Not Dark Souls.
There's this kind of a thought experiment in economics where if you ask like 100 to 500 people like how much like a cow weighs, the average of them will actually get really, really, really close to how much the cow actually weighs. Twitch Plays is kind of like that, except like thousands of people over like weeks sometimes. So it's like just like by law of like attrition, eventually they're gonna get through. They could probably like do anything. I did see that Fallout was not doing too well. To begin
they
with.
were in the character creator for so long. That's where I was watching.
Someone tweeted out to me, "Oh, we're dying from radiation in Megaton. They were stuck in the water where the bomb was." I'm like, "Yeah, you're gonna die soon."
I think it's amazing to me that they beat Dark Souls, but they're having so much trouble with Fallout 3.
Yeah,
and we all collectively decide to take a slight step to the left out of the radioactive puddle.
We agree on this? Yes? Okay, good.
Oh, it's so much fun. But you guys should really get into it. Like, I remember back in the Pokemon one, we managed to get a Master Ball and somehow catch Zapdos. That was like the most intense fucking moment because like it was so easy just to click run or for Zapdos to die after an attack. But we managed to catch the fucking thing. It was just so intense, and I enjoyed it so much.
Pokemon works. It's like a tile-based game. Right. You know, up, down, left, and right is the only ways you can go. If they did more of those, I said this last time we talked about Twitch Plays, that it would work so much better if they did those type of games. But it's interesting to see them try to play these games like Fallout. But I'm curious if they're gonna like. Because don't trolls just sit in there and just fuck with the commands? They have to.
All the fucking time.
I would just sit there and be like, go forward, like, go backward. Like that.
So I can see this working with something like Final Fantasy, where 90% of the game is default attack on default target over and over and over.
Yeah.
I really like the UI that they're the overlay that they have for the Twitch Plays thing though. It's especially because I don't know if he tweaks it for each one, but it felt very Fallout-esque when I was looking at it. Just a little observation I made personally. I liked it though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a cool concept, and eventually they'll beat it. We know that they'll fucking beat it. It's inevitable.
Where do you think they are now? They blew up Megaton this morning. I signed on. I saw the picture.
It was a side thing too. They didn't even have to do that.
It was like an actual. It was like, but what's it called? It was an actual screenshot, like, of it blowing up. Like, it was a perfect screenshot, too. And I was just like, holy shit.
Yeah. He did it.
They made their way to Tenpenny Tower just to see Megatons.
Right.
Well, so here's the ultimate problem is like now you're in a sandbox setting where you can just kind of do whatever. Is like the sandbox spirit gonna just overcome all the people in the chat, and they're actually never gonna beat it because they'll be like, well, now let's see if we can go blah 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 blah. I can't remember a single thing to do.
Why not?
We must kill the Roach King and usurp his throne.
Exactly. I want Twitch plays GTA. Any of the GTAs. That's what I want.
No one agrees with you.
No one likes GTA in this podcast. You know what? Yeah, I know. No, I know. I get it. Fuck off. God, I hate
I like San Andreas. It used to make me laugh as a kid because like they just like obsessively
Perpetually
curse.
7.
I know.
Look how hardcore we am. F.
Yeah.
Well, because like there's this one scene where the guy was gonna go rob a bank, and all you heard was like him walk in all cocky, and like I think CJ was hitting on someone, and all you hear is like the guy who walked in the bank just go motherfucker like that, and just it was just so ridiculously cheesy, and I just thought it was the funniest thing as a kid where I replayed the mission like 3 times over.
Yeah, is that how you feel about 5, dude? Is that how you feel about 5?
5 is a good game. I like
Okay.
5.
Good. If you said anything bad, I'd have to get upset.
Slightly overrated.
Have you played Fallout? Oh, I just pissed off like 70,000 people. I'm just kidding.
Kicked out of the podcast.
I'm just kidding. Like everyone.
Austin, Charles, if you guys got any spare time every Saturday at 6 p.m.
I party hard on the weekends. It's hard to pin me down for anything.
I don't have friends, so I don't do anything on the weekends.
Oh yeah, except miss the podcast, right?
Because I'm working.
Anyway,
We're gonna run away from home now. We're being too
I'm
hard.
gonna run away from home.
Final piece of news. Bethesda revealed a piece of the ambient music for Fallout 4. It was called The Last Mariner. Anyone? Or is it Mariner or
Wait,
Mariner?
What? Excuse me? Hold up.
You didn't hear it?
No.
It's, okay, go to the Bethesda net page, and they have a SoundCloud there. And it has like the main theme for Fallout 4. And right under that, Last Mariner. Click on that. It's fucking like Witcher crosses Fallout 2. It's awesome. Has anyone here listened to it?
Nope.
No.
Oh,
Nope.
God.
Is
Okay.
it Unknown Sir again?
I have to put my
Yeah.
birth date in? Jesus Christ.
We should not
Oh,
pay
yeah,
for
it's
it.
weird because you click international or US, but if you click international, you don't have to put your birthday in.
Dang
I
it,
don't know
I should have done that.
Wow. That's
It's
weird.
weird.
Racist. It's not
Shut up,
racist.
Noah.
It's not actually racist.
Oh man.
I'd look, but I'm playing NHL.
It's,
Oh, look at that.
I don't know. Are you guys listening to it now?
There's
Yep.
the main theme. Oh my gosh.
It's
I listened to the
so
one on the
fucking
piano.
awesome. I'm not even trying to. I mean, obviously I'm biased, but I'm saying like it's. I don't know if anyone. I know Lowen, you played The Witcher. I don't know if Charles or Austin, you guys played The Witcher 3.
I have.
Okay, so you're gonna hear some of that, and you're gonna hear Fallout 2, definitely.
Fallout 2.
Yeah, like that's what I get. Like I was like giving because I was like joking around in the Sugar Bomb chat, giving like my live, moment to moment reactions as like a play by play basically, and I'm like, oh shit, hold on, now I'm hearing a little Witcher, and I'm like, oh wait,
Did you hear that windpipe? Like, oh my god.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. I was like, oh my god, no, seriously, it's like a 4 or 5 minute song, and it just like changes up so much, and I'm trying to like, when you listen to the music, you kind of imagine places or things naturally, I think, and I'm trying to imagine where in Fallout 4 this piece of music would fit in best. I don't know if you guys are listening and coming up with any ideas. That was kind of the main point I was going to discuss, because I mean, the name would hint at some type of aquatic area naturally. But for me, like, I get the vibes of some type of sounds like Civilization rebuilt in a sense. Like I'd be exploring like a fresher part of the wasteland, like with the blue skies, not like the places like where you see the Deathclaw on the reveal trailer or something.
Yeah.
Now, I recall seeing a shipwrecked boat that had rocket engines on it in the original reveal trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Perhaps that's where it occurs.
See, this is why we have you here. Thank you.
Glad to be of
Genius.
service.
Genius.
I have to say that this track is a little bit more ambitious than some of their past music. I've always been I think the music of the Fallout franchise. Okay, no, the music of the first 2 games was pretty cool, especially for the time it came out. But man, Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, it sucked. I said it. The ambient music sucked.
Wasn't New Vegas like 1 and 2 reused though? They didn't really add many new things.
They did some reusing, but they had some unique stuff specifically.
Okay. All right.
But I guess it's not fair to say that it sucked, because when you're playing like a game that you just like walk around doing random crap all the time, like you can't have something that's always like, but
Play dubstep.
It had like not like it just felt very unambitious most of the time. So it's good.
And you still say that after Bethesda released the video that humanizes the composer and shows him there playing his piano.
I thought Einon Zer was a group, for fuck's sake, and it's a person.
What?
What's the name of it? Sorry.
He's called Einon Zer, and I'm like, surely that sounds like a group of some sort.
Genuinely the coolest name I've ever heard in my life.
He's actually Protoss.
Taro Einon.
The interesting thing about Fallout music is that I remember I loved like GNR so much, and I would listen to that personally on my iPod or whatever. Mm-hmm. Now I can't listen to it in game. I don't know why. I will listen to ambient music so much. I've listened to it to death, each of the songs, and I feel I'm not going to do that with Fallout 4.
Yeah, that's why I made sure not to listen to any of that type of music before Fallout 4, because, you know, it's natural. Yeah. You get sick of music if you listen to the same genre too much. And if I listen to, like, this 50s and these blues all the time come Fallout 4, I'll be like, shut the fucking radio off. Like, I don't want to listen to this.
Well, part of the charm...
much Danny K you can take it once.
Yeah, right. Part of the charm, I think, about Fallout's music, especially, and I'm talking about the radio music, not the ambient music, is that the songs always have an underlying to what's actually going on in the world. So if you look at the trailer, you know, you have the song, it was like Atom Bomb Baby. You know, you look at the Atom Bomb, obviously, you know, stuff like that. So I think that's part of the thing that we really love about it, is that it has like an underlying like grim side to it. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah, even with like Fallout 2, I was listening the other day, one of the main songs, A Kiss to Build a Dream On by Louis Armstrong. That really fit the tone of Fallout 2. I was looking at Fallout 2 music and I found that gem and I started listening to it. Beautiful, beautiful track.
It is. Yeah, I enjoy it very much. I mean, I like the GNR soundtrack, but it's for the ambient. Fallout 3, I mean, I guess not Austin pointed out, Fallout 3 only had like a few I like when because I always have those running in the background of my videos because I just love it so much. But like, you know, once you listen to them every day, you only have like a select few that are your favorites that you never get sick of. And like for Fallout 3, there's probably only 3 that I could consistently use and like enjoy exquisitely. But the rest are kind of like they're all like the same tone, the same like bleakness around them. So I agree with Austin when he said it sounds a lot more ambitious. But I really liked how it was. So if anyone who's listening out there has not heard this ambient music, because it flew under my radar as well. I had to have a viewer tell me, but it's available on Bethesda Net's page. It's called like Creating the Score for Fallout 4 or something like that. It's whatever has to do with music, and there'll be a SoundCloud on that. And they didn't even talk about it too. I like how they did that. They just kind of like said, yeah, here's Einon Zer playing the main theme, and we're going to tuck this piece of ambient music in there. Enjoy.
You know, that's an interesting thing that I've noticed some games doing nowadays, because I was doing... and The Witcher did this, and the only reason I knew The Witcher did this is because I was doing the Witcher lore series for ShoddyCast, and I was like, wanted all the possible music I could have, and... They would release, you know, just like a few tracks here and there for free, like, and you could download them even, and it was I don't know, like, for me, like, I think it's like really gets, you know, for the hardcore like fans who really like getting stuff early, it just feels like a super nice treat. But they don't like advertise it, they just randomly do it.
Yeah.
I couldn't see Bethesda, like, I remember, like, Lone, you were like, I'd love to know the soundtrack for Fallout 4. I'm like, I wouldn't, I don't want
I just want to know, I'll listen to each song once and that's it. I promise I won't go overboard. I just want to know I
kind of want the surprise, because, like, I think of the initial gameplay trailer E3, the Atom Bomb song was one of the most pleasant surprises, because not only was it, like, very unheard of until Fallout 4, but it was like one of those songs like, how was this never in a Fallout game? And when I heard it, it was like, it was perfect. You know, honestly, I'll even go to that length and say it was fucking perfect. Just a great match.
They need to put Sweet Little Lies with on one of the radios in Fallout 4. I don't know if you guys have seen that. If you go to the Fleetwood Mac Little Lies video, There are so many comments about Todd Howard on there. It's fucking hilarious. Like, tell me little lies, Todd Howard. It's fucking awesome.
So now, how many of you killed Three Dog? Just to hear what the other DJ is like.
I did it.
Nope.
I didn't. Nope.
Is there another DJ? I didn't even think of.
She's intentionally very bland and like depressing. Yeah. It's funny.
Hey, if Free Dog were here, he'd say something clever, but now you've got me. Yay!
I tried to listen to Agatha.
Was it worth blowing his head off?
I tried to listen to Agatha in the violin station. It just wasn't.
Oh, that one's so weird. I've listened to like the full thing of that. It's just weird. I don't know.
Like, yeah, thanks for the Black Hawk. Now I'll be done with you. Anyway.
That about wraps up our Bethesda news.
Wait, there was something that Austin and I talked about a little bit that got cut in news this week. The Loot Crate.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I cut that because, like, the instant, like, as I was editing it, it was sold out. And I was like,
Well,
my opinions don't matter anymore.
Did anyone here buy it?
What do you think,
within the hour that it was online?
Think I bought it?
I'm just saying.
$100 is a lot of money for a mystery box. $20 maybe, but $100 you're really recreating that scene in Dragon Age Inquisition where the guy's got the grand mystery box for 10,000 gold. And, yeah.
Oh,
so that's how I felt.
What's in the box, man?
It reminds me of The Simpsons. Like, you could have
think of that vine.
washing machine, or what's in this box? The box! The box!
I think of that vine, and he's like, what's in the fucking box? And he's like, Frosted Flakes. I don't want to say the last part because I sound racist, but...
Is it the N-word?
Yes.
Okay.
But it's very funny. Does no one... Why is... I feel like I'm not on the same wavelength with anyone here today. I bought the fucking Loot Crate, alright? I'm going to say it.
Exactly what you're talking about.
Gasp.
I did it. I caved in and I bought it.
So what's that $500 you spent on Fallout 4 now, Matty?
That's probably... well, let's do the math. We like to do this a lot. Alright, let me... Anthology, that's 50. 5 with shipping.
Yeah.
Pip-Boy, that's 150. Yep. So we're at 200 now.
Yep.
All
the Pop Toys. You still haven't got them yet?
That's another 100. Nope, have not gotten them yet because Bethesda Hates Matty Conspiracy continues. So that's 300.
$300.
Oh, we have one of those too. Bethesda hates all of us.
I asked Pete if he knew who I was last night. He didn't.
Wait. Oh my god, no. Okay, hold on. I'm at $300 right now. The Loot Crate, okay, that's 400.
Fuck.
Hold on, I'm looking at
the replica laser pistol. You bought that?
I didn't buy that. No, that's.
Oh, you son of a.
But really, the stuffed dog meat that comes with the Loot Crate is a bargain at any price.
It's the fucking kicker. It's the kicker, man. I saw that. I was like, yes.
It's gonna be the hoodie,
it's more so because it's
dog meat, and then it's gonna be 2 middle fingers. Just be like, haha. Thanks for your $100.
I saw a picture about the Loot Crate. I'm not sure if it's real. So is it like a lunchbox, but a different kind of lunchbox?
Did you guys see only revealed that they were going to have the Vault 111 sweatshirt in there. I need a new sweatshirt, so it worked out for me. That sounded so bad. And the dog meat plushie, but other than that, they said everything else is secret, but it was like $150 worth. My opinion is that it's going to be like a backpack, like one of the string ones, and I use those quite often for hockey. What else was I'm guessing? I walk into hockey practice with a fucking Vault 111 string backpack full of fucking pucks. They're like, "What's up, nerd?"
Oh man,
I'm trying. I've got a keychain that's shaped like Vault Boy. That makes me cool, right? Huh?
My mom says I'm cool.
I wouldn't be surprised if they had like a lunchbox. Really, like that's kind of a staple now with the Fallout Shelter, Fallout 3 collectible. You know, I could see them doing a lunchbox there.
If there's a Giddy Up Buttercup replica in there, I'm gonna be pissed that I didn't buy this.
I want a box of sugar bombs.
That's clever. That's clever.
With cereal in it, though. It has to,
Isn't Pete Hines thinking
an empty cardboard box?
Yeah.
Isn't Pete Hines thinking about the whole Nuka-Cola and actually making those officially? Like,
yeah, he was like, he's like,
cool.
you think we already thought of that, huh? I'm like, or something like that. He said that they've considered doing the Nuka-Cola across his Coca-Cola promotion. I'm like, I know that it's a small, in the sense of globally, it's a quote small market because it's just Fallout fans, but just do it. It's too good of an idea to say we didn't do that. You know,
yep, and just get
Pete
some radiation.
Pete Hines is gonna look over his shoulder one day and be like, "Why didn't I do that? That was such a good idea."
I'm just gonna hand them $1 million idea right now. They already make bottles of Coke that have the names of people on it, so why not make one that says, share a Coke with dog meat and share a Coke with what's the robot's name? Cogsworth and
Cogsworth.
And collect
share
10
one with
caps
Marcus.
Collect 10 caps and you get a free bottle of Nuka-Cola, something like that. I mean, we're thinking of their marketing for them.
We really are. That's our. You know what? Okay, I'm gonna back up to a little bit something like deeper here. That's all we are, though, for them is free marketing.
All right, well, let's fix that. Let's talk about just how terrible this game is. And
I'm always ready to talk about season passes.
I
can flex my muscles.
We didn't touch on that because I saw the ShoddyCast video where Austin, you expressed your opinion about that. So, what do you think about the season pass? So everyone here can know.
Well, Gopher has softened my touch somewhat, as have some commenters.
As he does.
Gopher does very softly.
But I do generally think that season passes are a complete horseshit marketing technique that's pushed by not the developers. This really is not something I hate. I don't think it actually reflects badly on the game itself, but it's something that the publishing companies they come up with because it's a great idea. You get someone to be like, "Hey, give me money ahead of time, and we'll just give you something." Most of the time, they start marketing them before even they have any idea what they're gonna put out. So it's basically money for So, and I'm generally not a huge fan of money for I'm
not a huge fan of money, honestly. That's why I don't have any of it. Yeah.
See, I would have been really irked if they were like, all right, we don't know what we're going to do with our DLC, but if you pre-order the season pass now, which I believe you can do, then we'll give you free in-game weapons that no one else can get. I would have been pissed off with that. But I think you're right. Season passes have become kind of a virus in the video game industry, but this is probably one of the better examples of it, in my opinion, because they're not trying.
It's one of those things that it's not. That's where Gopher came in. He's like, well, this one's not necessarily horrible, and he's right. I just get all frothy when I hear the phrase because so many of them are bad, and I do worry that the good ones kind of lend their validity to the crappy ones and be like, well, look, Fallout did a season pass and it went okay. Yeah, let's do one for Assassin's Creed 11.
Right. Well, and see, that's just it. The way I look at it is we were fine without season passes, 5 years ago, we didn't really have them that much. We can be fine without them again. Just release the downloadable content as it's released. We'll pay for it. I'm sorry. I have a lot of issue paying $60 for a game on top of spending another, say, how much is it, 40 or 20?
30.
30? Okay. Spending another 30 on it, and then getting maybe little... I just fucking hate it. It doesn't matter who it is.
Triggered.
Rockstar. Didn't Rockstar... No! Rockstar released all their downloadable content for free. Now, I'm not praising... Well, I'm praising Rockstar, of course, but my point is, it's just fuck off, season passes. Just stop. I don't have any money for this shit.
As I say, before you get excited about Rockstar and their purity, they did make the Rockstar. No, that wasn't Rockstar.
It was what?
That was who made Mad Max? That was WB.
Yeah.
I got confused because WB partnered with Rockstar Energy Drink to have
for the love of God, I didn't even know that, but I'm done. That is ridiculous.
I actually did drive the car around. There's one little mission where you have to drive that car in a race, and it's one of the worst cars in the game.
And the side character who hangs on the back of the car is holding a can of Monster or a Rockstar. Like, yeah, dude, this is so pro. Like,
if I were to put on my wizard prediction hat, I would say that season passes are being set up to be the replacement for like pre-order bonuses and stuff. Like because pre-orders like are patently ridiculous.
Just look at fucking Deus Ex right now.
Like,
gross.
Pre-ordering when you have digital distribution, like it doesn't actually make sense to do
exactly.
So I think it may eventually go away, but they're hedging their bets by having, they're trying to be like, well, season passes.
See, I don't think so though. I think it's going to get worse because you're right on the fact of pre-ordering kind of dwindling away in terms of the digital downloads and stuff like that becoming more relevant. But the fact that that's going to make season passes become more of a thing because they're going to have the pre-orders.
Oh yeah, and they'll be bad like Borderlands.
Yeah, Borderlands, as much as I love Borderlands, it's a perfect example of a season pass that's not really needed.
Unless it's Borderlands 2. I mean, they released DLC for a while. Did it not cover a certain amount?
That you couldn't get with the season pass.
Yeah, I was going to say, I take that back.
Mission add-ons. You didn't get little stuff like the skins.
Yeah, I take that back. I'm thinking of Bethesda's where they say like anything after our initial plans is free as well.
That's cool. That's good. But again, it's just
I just always go back to the number one point. Do they not think like this will sell more if we reveal DLC with this? Not saying, hey, we have no ideas.
Make amazing DLC that people can't help but buy. Yeah.
Well, but see, the way I look at it, I'm the type of person that if they're going to start talking about DLC before the game's even out and talking about the game of it,
this all in December.
Well, my experience with companies, that do that and announce the name of a DLC or something before it's out, before the game's even out. A lot of times DLC is shit. It's rushed out the door. It's not great, and I'd rather just not mention it.
My worst DLC experience was with Mass Effect 3. Okay, I go to GameStop and they have that day one DLC for the
day one DLC.
What was it? The Prothean, I think that's how the name of it. Austin, Prothean. Okay, thank you. And this lady, she's kind of attractive. She's just like, hey, you want to buy the day one DLC? And I'm just like, no, thank you. She's like, oh, come on. Like, she swooned me. She fucking deviated me. She tricked me. And I walked out of there, like, smiling. And the second I set foot at a GameStop, I had this transformation where, like, the switch to shut off. I'm like, I'm so fucking stupid. I just bought day one DLC because she convinced me. She was just trying to make a sale, and she went hard on me. I was like, she didn't like me. She didn't want me.
Wait, did BioWare send her in there to woo customers, or she just
only put your cute ones in today?
She just went really like hardcore on me. Like she was really trying to convince me. I like caved in.
You do realize now, Matty, that Pete Hines is listening to this podcast, and he's going to send Todd Howard to every store to do the exact same thing.
All right,
so pretty. If he asked me to buy something, I would like directly. He said, Austin.
Hey Matt, I really like that link statue over there. Okay, sure, no problem. Here,
it's like, would you just shake my hand, please? Because you are so gorgeous, and I will never wash my.
Oh man.
See, as someone who works in retail, I can tell you that what happened to you, Matt, is exactly like, and you know this. Is exactly what's like. We have these little things, and I don't want to go too specific because I don't want to get in trouble with it. But we have these things where you donate $3 and you get something for it. And when I'm working register, if I say, oh, if you donate $3, you get, and I see their face, I'll be like, come on, dude, it's only $3, and I make them feel like shit if they don't donate, and it makes them donate. I'm not kidding.
And bad person, Noah. A bad
like you for breakfast.
Manager told me to do that.
It's only it's only 3 McDoubles at McDonald's. It's not a big deal, bro.
So do you get a kickback from this charity or something? You get to skim like 10% off all the the potable water you give to the starving children in the third world, or
he gets to keep his job. Damn it.
Exactly.
Anyways, we went on topic there. Our next segment is what games are playing and our favorite news of this week.
Can I go first?
Sure.
All right, fuck you all. I finally, well, I've been streaming a lot, so I've been streaming a lot of Dirty Bomb lately. I've been playing GTA 5 kind of again on my PC. I'm starting to like get back into it. As you all know, I've beaten it on the console. But and then I finally got my Xbox disc reader to work.
I remember that video.
It hasn't been working for like 6 months. No joke. I promise you, this is how I fixed it. I put the game in. and I just smacked on the top of the Xbox for a solid like 40 seconds. I am not kidding. And it just, rather than saying open tray with a disc in it, it just said play game. And I was like, oh my god. So now I've been playing like NHL kind of again and stuff like that.
I just remember you sending me a Snapchat video of that, and you're like, I got my disc reader to work, Matt, look. And then you send me a video, you're like, when you have no games to play on your Xbox.
That's true.
Nice.
What's your favorite news, Noah? Huh? While you're on a roll here.
I am glad that the perk list got announced and is shown and stuff like that.
Oh, good answer, Noah.
Damn.
That's like saying Jesus in Sunday school.
Yeah.
Favorite Bible character.
The answer to every question. Jesus did it.
Fuck you.
Charles or Austin, how about you guys? What you're playing this week and your favorite news bit?
I've been playing StarCraft 2. I finally I've always been kind of a casual watcher of professional StarCraft. I don't know what it is. It just fascinates me. And I started watching DreamHack Open again. And then I'm like, I could be that good. And then I go on multiplayer. I'm like, I am not that good.
I remember.
Oh man, that guy sent the one Zergling into my base. I'm gonna go kill it.
The only thing I know about StarCraft is that Zerg Rush is a thing. That's pretty much all I know.
I don't know a thing about it.
I used to play StarCraft on Nintendo 64. Like,
that was the best!
Greatest days. And I thought I was good. It's like, yeah, I'm good at this. Then I eventually played StarCraft Online. I fucking got my ass beat. Handed to me.
My favorite thing about the N64 StarCraft is the later into the game you got, it would start to lag. Like, because it just couldn't handle processing everything. And so the game just got really slow. And you could really think about what you were doing.
Great game. Oh, man. And favorite news bit, Austin?
Oh, crap. I didn't study.
We're awful at preparing our guests, as you can tell. We don't warn them.
Well, of Fallout news, I was probably the most into I was proud of my little takeaway from the endurance video where I noticed that water will handle radiation. So maybe that. As far as news, I found out that Volkswagen had been lying to a bunch of people about how about the emissions of their cars and had built a device that hid how bad their cars were just shooting out like CO2.
The hell are you talking about?
So they can get a better rating? Is that what they
Yeah,
did?
like they actually designed their cars so that when they were in test mode, when they were getting emissions tested, it would like change the way the car process like worked so that it would pass the emission rating with like flying colors.
Fuck you, W.
And then when they were on the road, it would just be like, okay, we're back to being a piece of crap that, shoots like all the exhaust out. Is pretty great.
Man, we need to cancel all our, stuff with VW that we got going on right now.
Get all of our secret
Promotions
deals.
and stuff. We got
our Volkswagen partnership that we're working on right now.
Yeah,
their stock dropped by 30% since this was announced over the weekend.
Yeah, exactly. Because so much of our audience are about to buy cars.
That's exactly that's why I brought it up. I mean, this is really the demographic to talk about this.
They're all worried how this is going to affect their 401k.
Oh, man.
Once all their W-2s come in,
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Only if you live in America.
I live in Australia. Sorry, Noah. What about you, Charles? Charles, what are you playing this week and favorite news bit?
I've been obsessively playing Mad Max for the last few weeks. And The Simpsons Tapped Out. Which is
what?
Two other sides of the spectrum.
I was not expecting that.
Yes, nice. So those are the two things that I've spent far more time than I should playing.
Can I ask you? Because I've seen a lot of mixed reviews about Mad Max, like incredible amounts. What is your opinion of the game?
Well, since I've been obsessively playing it, I really like it. I'm in the target demographic. The driving combat is terrific. It reminds me a lot of Rage. If you guys played that, but substantially better. And, then when you're not in the car, you're running around as Mad Max, and you got a fight system. It's kind of like, the Arkham series of, light attacks, parries, and, counterattacks. And it's also got a neat feature that I like that, Max has his, trademark shotgun, which doesn't hold a lot of rounds. So you have to really think tactically about whether or not you want to shoot someone. And when a group of people are coming at you, you've got to pick the most dangerous 1 or 2 people to take out.
Okay. Yeah, I like the Fury mode because you do some really cool fucking WWE moves. Like, no joke. Like, you do, like, the fireman's carry. You do the German suplex. Like, you do all these moves. Like, I'm surprised they didn't just throw in an RKO. They have John Cena's attitude adjustment. Like, you literally put the guy on your shoulders, you lift him up, and slam him down. Like, it's incredible. I love it. It's so fun when you go in that Fury mode and you just start beating ass.
And Max gets he gets knife attacks later on. So as you pick up shivs, so as you level him up, you'll be able to use the shiv in different situations. So if someone grabs you from behind, you can pull out the knife and stab them. Or if you get someone up against the wall, instead of beating them up, you can just pull out a shiv and kill them right there. So I had probably far too much fun with this game than I ever intended to. And then there's Simpsons Tapped Out, which, mock me if you will. I've played it obsessively for 3 years now.
Is it that old PS1 boxing game with the Simpsons?
No, this is it's a new game that came out for smartphones about 3 years ago.
Oh, wow, okay.
And so it's kind of like SimCity, but you're the Simpsons.
It's a new game.
It's a new game. Wow. I'm thinking of this one I played at my friend's house on the PS1. It was just literally a boxing game with the Simpsons. That's what I was thinking of.
Which friend?
Yeah.
Tell me, which friend?
Peter.
Oh, okay.
The fuck does that matter?
I love how you guys have these little tangents on your own. Like, oh yeah, let's talk about our friends.
And knows what's it about, yeah. Anyways.
And your favorite gaming news bit, Charles?
Oh, I loved seeing the motion capture and the audio capture of River, the dog that's used as the model for dog meat in the game. So I love seeing the real doggy running around the office.
There's a great comment about me. I'm not saying this is the egotistical way. There's a great comment about me. Someone left one down below, and there was a freeze frame where they had the dog they were mocapping him, going under a table or something, hiding, and you could see literally his ass clear as day. And so someone let the comment.
It's a dog, so it may not. I mean, it's a female dog, so you may.
So someone leaves a comment, and they're like, "Inbound is MrMattyPlays 52 analysis at and I think it was 52 seconds."
Oh yeah.
I was just like, "Oh my fucking god."
So did you upload it though?
No, I decided to stow the project away for another couple of months and really go deeper than I've ever gone before.
What's up, guys? Matt here. Today we're going to be looking at the dog's asshole.
Oh, okay. I'm going to cut in there. So I haven't been playing anything this week, is not surprising, but favorite gaming news bit. First of all, BioShock, they removed the iPhone iPad port on the App Store. Thank God, because you should never play that game that way.
Wait. The first BioShock was on. Oh.
Yep. Yeah, it was.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah.
That's a bad.
I don't know if you ever tried to play it. I did.
Wait a minute. No. Repeat that. I'm sorry.
So
the
BioShock
was on what?
BioShock 1 was on the Apple App Store on iPad and iPhone, and they removed it because obviously it was probably doing really bad, and it's a terrible way to play such a great game. So. That was cool. And also as well, the remastered BioShock collection was leaked apparently, which will be coming to PS4 and Xbox One. And I'm pretty excited.
I saw that and I tagged Lone instantly. I was like, dude! Finally!
Well, it makes sense though, right? They're doing the pop toys and now this. I reckon it's real.
This is honestly, if you want the best gaming predictions, this is the place to be. Because we talk about things and they happen. Naturally.
Episode 1, Noah Pearson. Boom. What did I say?
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
So in a perfect world, we're going to get a half-hour Fallout 4 gameplay at E3. Oh.
What happened? Yeah, that. That's why I'm on this podcast, for those who keep asking. Damn it. Jerks.
I have an old phone lying around my apartment somewhere, and back when the original BioShock came out, before there were smartphones, I downloaded the made-for-non-smartphone BioShock adaptation.
Oh, no.
And I think I'm probably the person that bought it. Because this game
is it just a text game? Like,
no, it's like a reasonable facsimile of the first 2 levels of the game, and it was made by a one-woman design team in India that I guess Verizon or someone, or 2K authorized, this woman to make this game, and, I'm like the guy that bought it. And, this is before we had like modern gaming phones, so you had to use, the primitive touch keypads of the old days to make this thing work.
Mm-hmm.
And so it exists, I swear, and I can't find any reference to it online. But if the woman that made that is listening, I'm the person that bought your game.
I'm sure she's listening.
The one review. It was a great game, Charles.
Yeah,
it was pretty good, but there were no boobs in it. Just
yeah, that's Noah's kind of review, right?
Yeah. What do you take me for, an 11-year-old?
Sometimes, yeah. Do you take offense to that?
You're not wrong, so.
Yeah, no one never texts me back. Unless I'm a girl. No one never texts me back. I'm still salty about that. You just...
How are you salty? I texted you about what the podcast shit, then you tweeted and replied into the group message, but didn't text me back.
Because I was writing down the questions.
You know what it's like to go through high school having a friend who texts back occasionally, like once or twice a week? That's Matt. Like,
that's not true. Because he would say, go on, and then I go on Xbox and I talk to him there.
I would text him every single day when I get home from school to tell him to go on Xbox, but I just say, go on. And it soon went from... Goon. It soon... it just went to this one word, goon. Fuck. I forgot about that.
And every day I'd go on and hammer away at that joke. Oh, no, dude, why'd you call me a goon again, dude? Oh.
Fuck you.
You guys are so adorable.
What I'm playing this week is Metal Gear Solid 5. I finally found a little time to hammer away at this very large and underwhelming game. Yeah, I fucking said it, okay? This game, where are these 10s coming from, okay? I will start off by saying this. I have played Metal Gear Solid 2, 3, Peace Walker, Ground Zeroes, alright? I got that whole pre-story the fuck down, and I'm pretty sure 2 takes place after 5. Okay, the story is like non-existent. It's like every now and then I get a nice little cutscene. I'm like, oh my god, finally story time, and it's like a little tease because it won't be another 4 hours until I get another one.
Yeah, but I feel like that's a game where the gameplay
absolutely
is like
that's
awesome
what I was gonna get.
It.
Yeah, I shouldn't have complained first because I'm probably receiving hate mail and death threats as we speak. But the gameplay, one of the best stealth games ever. Honestly, like it's very flexible, which is hard to do. You can really tackle any situation you want. But it gets somehow tedious because they make you infiltrate the same fucking camps so many times over to the point of redundancy. Where, like, you have the side ops, which you essentially have to do if you want to progress your mother base or anything like that. So you're constantly in these same areas over and over and over and over and over to the point where, like, the first, 10 hours, it's like, this is amazing. And then after you hit, the 20-hour mark and you're still in that same area doing that same shit, you're like, okay, I've had enough. They eventually switch up locations. You can flip between 2 open worlds. I say that in quotes because the open world is not like our Bethesda open worlds where there's questing and stuff, which is fine. It's like in a sense, a GTA open world where it's literally a living, breathing world. And so it's a very good game, but in the sense of storytelling and content, it's there, but it's not enough. It's a gameplay game. And as someone who loves a story, I feel like you can't sell me half a package, especially since, speaking of half a package, apparently they cut out parts. I haven't beaten it yet, so I wouldn't know, but they cut out parts that they're going to sell for DLC and
yeah.
Apparently, apparently Hideo Kojima was a paid contractor at the end of the development, so things kind of fell apart. That's why.
Well, yeah, he's leaving, and then isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about this kind of briefly last week, but now I finally had some time to play it a little bit more, and it's an awesome game, like I said, in terms of gameplay. It reminds me, except Dishonored, I really like the story, so I can't even make that comparison. But the freedom reminds me of Dishonored, where I'm I think about it, I can do it, which is no small feat. But everything else, I'm not a fan of. It's redundant going to the same areas. The story's not really there, but when it is, it's interesting. But it's just so many 4 or 5 hour gaps between story continuation that it's just I just lose interest every time, and I'm like, who are you again? What are we doing here? What's going on? So that's my thoughts on Metal Gear Solid 5 so far, at least. Maybe it'll change, but it's...
Your opinion's, like, different to 99% of every single
Because
critic.
it's Metal Gear. It's fucking Metal Gear. If this game didn't have Metal Gear on the front, it would get fucking torn to shreds.
I disagree completely. Because I don't... Okay, I'm sure that... I haven't played it, but I've watched a shit ton of it. Again, I'm still going to get... You haven't played it? No, I know. But my thing on it is... forget the story for a second. I love stealth games. Same. I really do. Splinter Cell, I haven't played a lot of the Metal Gear series. I played a few, but not a lot of it. But I love Splinter Cell, stealth games. Hitman's one of my all-time favorites. So it's like I feel like it's not a bad game. I don't know if it should get 10s. But,
that's what I'm saying. A 10 is
that's a big
masterpiece.
Thing to say.
Yeah, that's saying it has everything you could want. This is a game you must.
Well, okay.
I do have
10
to say
out of 10
that I actually disagree with the premise of one of the things you said, but agree with the general idea that it's okay. So you're saying that it's a gameplay game, so maybe you're being unfair by saying, oh well, the story is kind of crap. But no, they present themselves like you do not like build these beautiful cinematic portraits that they have in these cutscenes, and they market themselves and push themselves as like a whole narrative cinematic movie, excellent experience, and then don't deliver on good writing. Like that's a really fair criticism, and like you can make an amazing stealth game without like the weird like. You don't need the plot. Like they could throw it away entirely and just have.
Yeah, look at all the Splinter Cell games.
Yeah, exactly.
See, I think this can segue into an interesting discussion about video game review scores. I mean, in my opinion, review scores they're very misleading and they're very hard and they're not accurate. But a 10 out of 10 doesn't say to me that a game is perfect. A 10 out of 10 means it's a really solid game, but you can't have no mistakes at all in a game. Like if a game had one bug, does that mean it's not perfect? Therefore, I can't get a 10 out of 10. I disagree with that. I would say even if a game had some bugs and you knew it generally still ran fine, but everything else was perfect, then I still think you could get a 10 even with those bugs. That's why I don't think review scores are completely accurate. I don't think 10 out of 10 means
numerical review scores are almost pointless. The fact that there's a point to them, but like it's better. Like Matt, your reviews, you don't do a numerical score for that, and I thank you for that. You explain what you like and what you don't like, and people listen and go from there. You make your own decision rather than sitting there, oh, it got a 7, not going to read the negatives, and just, it's an okay game.
Well, let's give an example, right? Mad Max I think is like 7.3 on Metacritic, and I'm sure someone like Charles would probably disagree with that. And that's because, like, look at all the different review scores. Obviously, we know that opinions can differ from either side of the scale, but I just don't think that looking at 7.3 is good enough to judge a game at all, but without actually reading pros and cons and seeing whether it appeals to you. Because 7.3 suggests to me that it's just not that good of a game. But in fact, there's a lot of people that like it and a lot of people that dislike it, and you're only going to get that sense if you read a written review. I guess that's the point I'm making.
The way that I choose whether or not I want to play a game is I wait for Yahtzee Croshaw on Zero Punctuation to do a review, and if I love all the things that he hates, that he says are awful, and I can still get it, then I get the game.
Basically, Angry Joe as well. Oh, name dropping. No,
I like to look at Total Biscuit because he is very critical, but for a good reason. And if he says, like, if he's struggling to find something to be critical with, it's a good game. And he even found that with Mad Max. So I think it probably is a pretty good game, but just review scores are a bit silly.
I mean, I remember when Mass Effect 3 came out. If you wherever you looked on whatever aggregate, it would always be right in the middle. It would be 3 or 7, because half the people were giving it 1-star reviews because they're outraged over Day 1 DLC and Electronic Arts is evil, and everybody else was giving it 5-star reviews.
Yeah,
I mean, for me, it was the reason I was kind of upset is, in a sense, is because it's not like I look at a game like Beyond Two Souls, which got a couple of 5s from big publishers, but a couple of, or not publishers, but a couple of reviewers. But it also got a lot of 9s, 9.5s, whatever. But the difference was that with Metal Gear, it was like almost across the board. Like, I think GameSpot 10, IGN 10, Game Informer I think was a 9.75. Like, it was like a 10 almost across the boards.
It's because of the boobs.
Yeah.
I gotta stop you guys right here. I gotta hop off though for.
I've caught. No, I'm joking. No.
I said it before. I do apologize, guys, but it was awesome to be on. Charles, great to have you back. Awesome to have you on.
It's nice to meet you.
Yeah, shut up.
Wow.
I'm just kidding.
Wow.
Guys.
Adios. What a fucking asshole. He literally just told one of our guests to shut up and then
he's like, I think I can bully him. I
think we apologize about that, Austin.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Did he even see Austin's Skype profile picture with those barbarian horns?
Yeah.
He looks very menacing.
Wait, is that a cosplay of some sort, Austin?
No, I was at a friend's birthday party and they had a photo booth and they had random hats.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be the lamest cosplay ever. Cosplay.
I'm the political barbarian.
Anyway,
but yeah,
moving on from that.
that's what I've been playing, and that's our little rant on review scores. As for my, I don't even want to call it favorite news, but news that intrigued me the most was that, naturally they've been talking a lot about this Battlefront beta. They said it's coming October 8th, but what I want to talk about is this rumor that it's going to be broken. And Noah left just in the nick of time to shit all over EA. Apparently this came from like a GAF user, so it's like, take it with a grain of salt. But a lot of people have been talking about it, and it's caught a lot of interest, and it's slowly but surely converting me to just entering this game with that negative mindset, because they said like the alpha was broken to shit, and that in the beta, like, they really haven't essentially had time to tackle all the problems the alpha had. So now there's this big issue where they're thinking that the beta is going to be broken for everyone, and that the full game is not going to do well at all, because they have to meet that Star Wars Episode 7 launch date, or be around it. I think they're like a week or so, a couple of weeks ahead of it.
We're so used to this now, aren't we? Like, games, like, now obviously this isn't confirmed or anything, but there obviously has been a track record with many different publishers, many different developers coming out with broken games because they're trying to meet some sort of release date, whether it's near the holiday season or whatever. And I miss the days, I genuinely do, where you would get a cartridge and that's it. There was no scope for updates over the internet, nothing like that. The game had to be perfect. And in a lot of cases, they were. But nowadays, given the scope of games, the grand scale, how expensive and difficult it is to make AAA quality games, there are obviously going to be instances where games aren't good, are perfect, or there are bugs. But if that's the case, just push back the game. People are going to appreciate getting a better game as opposed to giving out their money and then getting a shitty game early. That's just my opinion.
It's like the idea of being able to fix a game after launch. Like, PC game, you could always do it a little bit. If you're really lucky, they would do a patch. Charles and I actually recently talked about this.
With Gopher, I believe.
Yes. And but it's a good thing to have available, but there are so many publishers. They're just like, hey, just put it out there, we'll fix it later. Like, no, you can't just put it out there and fix it later. No, do not.
I feel like with Battlefront, and I know this is maybe it's just because of my bias, I've been a Battlefront fan like my entire life, where I feel like a broken Battlefront game is like the last straw for EA. It's like, turn around now and fix your shit, or you're done, where like people are going to be done. Because this is no joke. Like, Battlefront, and I'm afraid now, because Battlefront is like, it's huge. We haven't had a Battlefront game in 10 years. And like, everyone's wanted one for so long, and we're finally getting one. I'm not expecting it to be a masterpiece or even amazing. It's just got to be like good, because honestly, that's all that Battlefront 1 and 2 were. They were just good games, but they were such a unique premise. That's why they really caught on. People wanted more. And if Battlefront sucks, like, this is a large audience. You're fucking with the Star Wars audience. Like, that's not good here. I feel like if they mess up, it's like no going back, man. They have to fix their stuff, because I have to honestly commend Ubisoft. I think since I'm sorry.
Hold on.
I'm sorry.
I tried to keep it in, but it
I'm
couldn't.
sorry. But
give me a second to log into my Uplay account before you go on.
I'm just saying, though. I'm just saying, though. Like, I feel like, out of the two, like, at least Ubisoft's kind of starting to run as an example of, like, we fucked up with Watch Dogs. and they've kind of turned around.
Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, I think 2015 has been a better year for them. You know, they're not perfect by any means, and they have not earned all the respect back by any means. But I think they're a good example of a company that's, like, acknowledging we fucked up and trying to fix it as best they can by not, like, aside from Assassin's Creed, that's an annualized series. It's always going to be, you know, by not overproducing and stretching studios thin. And, like, they're doing indie games kind of now, which is cool. I think one of them was, like, one of their most downloaded indie games, and they barely marketed it. So it's like that's a good example of how to turn things around, in my opinion, so far. But I kind of want to talk about how the fact that it's now rumored to be a broken game, and I know rumors are just rumors, and it's NeoGAF, so a lot of people, you know, don't want to believe that. But if it is true, and with DICE's track record, you know, of I guess, well, not track record, but rather you look at Battlefield 4, which is obviously a great game now. You know, everyone says this is a wonderful game now, but, you know, 2-3 years ago, it's a broken piece of shit with a lot of issues. That a lot of people are subject to believe this now because they're not clean track record.
Well, I got two things to say on this.
By all means.
Okay, first, I was in the disastrous Street Fighter V beta a couple months ago.
Oh, no, man.
So for those of you that don't know that story, there was the big announced Street Fighter V beta. Wow, you're going to finally get your hands on all these characters you saw at E3. And then it did not work. That 99% of the people that tried to play this thing could not play a single match over the entire 5-day event.
Wow.
So that's a worst case scenario. But they learned about the game, that, you know, they learned exactly how much stress their servers can handle, which is, you know, 1% of what they thought it would be. So even if, you know, there's a disastrous beta and the game's broken, you know, the developers are still learning about their game from this, even if it's inconvenient for us players who are, you know, allowed to play a game for free 6 weeks before it comes out. Oh, poor us.
Yeah, absolutely.
And secondly, I actually have played some of the local co-op with Battlefront, and, you know, so that's a far cry from actually having, you know, a whole bunch of people actually playing online with it. But I did enjoy what I played with it in the local demos that I've seen.
No, it looks. See, that's the thing. It looks awesome, and I love what I've seen, and, you know, I'm more than stoked for it. It's just, you know, when I hear these rumors of it being broken, I guess it brings in a wind of doubt that I didn't have before. You know, I wasn't walking into this thinking this is going to be game of the year, this is going to be incredible, but I had confidence in DICE, you know, and I guess, you know, when you start hearing these bad rumors, it breaks a little confidence. It kind of gives you a taste of reality, like, okay, they can fuck this up, you know, where instead of just having this fanboyism to it, where I'm like, they got this, man, they got this. Like, I actually took a step back. I'm like, well, I mean, do they have this really? And I guess that's kind of where I've been stuck at, where it's not like I'm sitting here believing it, but I guess I'm going to go in, and I guess it does help for my overall criticism of the game, you know, it lets me go in with a bit of skepticism now, you know. But that's my news for this week, Battlefront beta rumors and whatnot.
Sweat. Our
final segment, fan questions. You guys,
what have you chosen this week, Matty?
Gaming again. I make sure to pick wisely now.
That's good.
Unless Noah's on for a full podcast, we won't do other. Anyways, the first one comes from @mad220023 on Twitter, and he asks, how do you feel about, and before I get into anything, I know we briefly talked about this in the past, but he has a reason for this question. He says, how do you feel about Bethesda showing more Fallout gameplay, even though we have just a little bit more than a month until it launches, especially considering that we just received the leveling system video from QuakeCon? So I guess what he's kind of tagging onto this is, like, since we saw something from QuakeCon, are we going to see the other part from QuakeCon? Does anyone feel we will?
It's hard to say, to be honest. Like, so far, Bethesda, there was a little bit of a drought in terms of Fallout 4 content because they had the Gamescom thing and things were being kept under wraps. But now we're getting a lot of stuff. Yeah. Obviously, we expected the special videos. We didn't expect this Fallout 4 leveling video. That was a nice touch. But it's hard to say whether they have enough time or space to fit in another video like that. They could very well do that, but it's really up in the air.
I think they realized they had turned the faucet too tightly the last few weeks, and that's why we got this little glut of interviews that have been previously released somewhere, and some of these little behind-the-scenes videos. So, yeah, I think that we are going to start seeing a little more about it, even though it's not necessarily going to be much gameplay or story related. It'll at least be, hey, you know, look at Todd Howard drinking coffee while talking about, you know, how the new laser gun should look. And
I could watch that all day.
I do like that Bethesda. I've said this before, but I really do like that Bethesda's been tight-lipped about a lot of things, even though it's been made it a little frustrating to have a weekly show.
I looked at this week's news bit. I'm like, oh, shit.
I just have to say, like, it's that I like that. Hopefully, I won't be lied to. It reduces the chance that someone will be like, oh, you know, like talk too much, and then be like, oh no, that's not really gonna happen, and then it's the thing that happens, and like that. There's so many precedents for that, and I find it to be so irritating. Just shut up, shut up about the cool thing you made, and let us experience the cool thing. So yeah, I'm glad that they came into it with a bit of skepticism, a little bit like conservativism, as far as what they were releasing, though. So.
I like Bethesda's approach because it's not like they're really trying to hype the game per se. I think rather they just present the facts and say, we think this is cool. And we agree with you, Bethesda. Thank you very much.
I think the reason why I don't think they're going to is because what these videos, these interviews have been is more so to more and more give us an idea of what Fallout 4 is. Just dropping what, apparently from what I've heard from the QuakeCon and Gamescom demo, is just the game itself. You know, it's not explaining anything. It's just more gameplay, which obviously isn't bad, especially for us people here who run weekly shows and whatnot off of that stuff. You know, it'd be great for us to see, but in the terms of what the context will be, it would just be showing more of the game, and I think almost in a sense ruining it, where I feel like now I've kind of gone from like, show us something Bethesda, to now that they're finally showing us stuff weekly now, including the special videos on top of a couple of interviews, I feel a little bit more satiated, where I'm like, okay, maybe they shouldn't show us this. And it's not like I'd get mad if they showed us gameplay, but if it's just basic gameplay, then it's not like I'm not interested, but it's more so, it'd be kind of pointless, where I feel like there was a point to this leveling system video, because it was something that a lot of people were confused about. You know, if it's a video that's going to explain us something about the game that we don't know about, then by all means. A lot of people were wondering what this repair system in Fallout 4 is, because apparently it's not brand new, but it's different from previous Fallout games, so a lot of people want to know about that. So if they want to do a video on that, go ahead, but I don't need to have like Lexington spoiled for me in this big battle between all the Brotherhood of Steel and the Raiders and the Ghouls and the protagonist, like this big mini war. I'm like, I want to experience that for myself.
When they finally reveal that the protagonist was in fact an android with implanted memories, I want to be able to go, I told you all so, with my own experience instead of it being spoiled early on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then everyone saying, no, that's not what it is. And then later finding out it was Robin all along. Sorry. And I'm mixing my games up.
The next question comes from the Golden Saiyan on Twitter. And he asks, do you think Fallout 4's destructible environment will be all over the map or just based to the story? And by this, he's asking about that one part in the gameplay trailer where protagonist throws a grenade up into this like broken part of a ship, it seems, and the wall blows off. Kind of. You know, panels of the wall blows off. And so I guess he's saying, was that like a story moment there, like almost a scripted event? Or are we going to have little destructible things like that where like fences will collapse and we can break down wooden doors in certain areas?
I'm betting it's that. Because, I mean, and I'm assuming after we play it a bunch, we'll know what all the different things are that are destructible and all the things that are not. Mm-hmm. The arbitrarily destructible things and the arbitrarily not destructible things.
Yeah, I've joked in the past about having Battlefield Apocalypse, where, you know, every single thing everywhere in this open world is destructible. And as much as I would love to see that really happen, I think that's more a target for the PlayStation 6. Rather than something we could really technologically see in Fallout 4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and maybe Fallout 7 we can really get something where you can personally destroy the entire world and then go run around in it. But But I don't think we're going to see more than, blow up the fence, blow up the, the desk.
Yeah, I agree. Just I was interested in what he said, whether or not it'd be all over the map or if this would just be story beat moments. I'm guessing since the story will take place in the world that it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
We're going to see this all over the place.
Maybe there will be more destructible things that are plot related. That'd be fun. I mean, there's clearly some sort of airship that lights on fire.
Oh my god, that's like one of the most epic parts in the trailer. I mean, they have explosive barrels, and I know that's such a weird thing to highlight, but that's new to Fallout. And
actually, there were explosive cars and explosive generators in the previous game. So, we did have sort of destructible things that could be used tactically.
Yeah. I just had an idea they're probably stamped with the Doom logo on the side. It's just a cross-advertising campaign.
Sell copies of Doom, Todd.
I just wonder how it's going to work because, like, for example, you explode a car and the car travels 10 meters in one direction. Is that going to be the new position of the car every time you reload a save? Or is everything going to reset once you start the game again? I don't know how in-depth it's going to be. It'll be interesting.
Are you asking, is it just going to lay there forever?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Who knows? Obviously, at the end of a Battlefield game, the fucking world's destroyed. The map is ruined. But I don't know whether that's technically possible or feasible in Fallout 4, where, say, for example, you throw a grenade at a building, the windows shatter. Do the windows stay permanently shattered or not? Who knows?
Very interesting. I actually never thought of that. I really hope you can at least break the glass in a fucking window, because that was so annoying.
Yeah. Or you had this really dodgy wooden door and you have to lockpick it. Don't know about that. I have a grenade.
I've got a Batman here.
The next question comes from Ratchet570. Non-Fallout related question. Do you think 2016 will be another golden year for gaming due to all the delayed games, or will it be another 2014?
Wait. What year's the golden year for gaming? This year is the golden year for gaming?
I guess
1997 was the golden year for gaming.
I don't know, but
we had The Witcher.
I apologize. Actually, I misread that. It said, "Do you think 2016 will be a golden year?" For gaming? I apologize.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with yes. I think developers are just now growing into the new console hardware.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I thought that would be this year, but a lot of delays pushed them all into 2016.
I didn't have an actual reason for saying no, other than I have no faith in the industry whatsoever.
That bit of cynicism is what we need here.
Well, look, I hope so. I really do. But it doesn't matter what game comes out, because I'll be playing one game for about a year.
That's what I'm saying. This is the golden year for all of us, in my opinion. At least for me.
I still have this sentence ringing in my head where you mentioned that Assassin's Creed will always be coming out every year because it's an annual thing. And I was like, man, it used to be just sports games that did that. It was
I know.
It's weird.
But there's probably a time where we played a sports game and we're like, why don't we do this for action games? And then they started doing it. It's like, why are you doing that now? Too much.
I'll be relentlessly cynical. I'll just change my answer here, and I'll say, you know what? If developers haven't figured out the new generation of consoles by now, then we're screwed.
Yes.
This is the best we're gonna see until the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox.
Yes.
Square
Join me, Charles.
Yes. All right.
Xbox Square Root.
And damn, Bethesda is going to be the ones that just destroy the whole thing, because they're not going to be able to implement the the Battlefield Apocalypse mode where you destroy the whole damn wasteland, and it's with the best is done. We're never going to see the likes of whatever, The Witcher 3. That's the highlight of the game industry forever. Damn kids today.
I think you cross the border from cynical to just completely delusional.
I give up on gaming. I'm gonna return all my systems now.
Excellent.
I have to say though,
the Dreamcast was the height of technological innovation.
There will be people in the comments who are 100% on board with that.
I still have my VMUs.
Come on, guys. The Virtual Boy was a great system. Don't deny.
Oh, man, the N-Gage. That was...
I can't remember. I remember that now. That was a thing. You know,
the N-Gage, for those of you who weren't there, the N-Gage, it was a phone that had like a Game Boy in it. But to change the cartridge, to change the cartridge, and I'm not making this up, you had to remove the back casing of the phone, take the battery out, turn the system off, and then there was a little, like, where the SIM card would be on a regular cell phone. That's where your game cartridge was.
That's so bad.
So you change it there, put the battery back in, put the case back on, power it back on, and then you could play your new game.
What year was
just works. Oh man,
I'm curious about what Austin is. What year is this?
That was like 2000.
Oh my god, it was in the 2000s.
2002.
Oh god.
Yeah. I mean, it was a contemporary of the Game Boy Advance, and for those of you that don't remember the Game Boy Advance, it's like, you just pull the cartridge out, you put the new cartridge in, and then it's magically there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh man, dude, Game Boy Advance SP was the endless nights because they had a backlight, so I could play in my bed late at night. I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm playing Pokemon Emerald tonight. It still kind of
annoyed me though. They're like, oh yeah, we're doing a backlight, and then it wasn't an actual backlight. It was just like a little light that shone on the side. Like, oh fuck. Come on, Nintendo.
Come on. No, I meant like the actual one, like, because the SP had like that slider that could like dim or brighten the screen depending on where you were. So if it was like you were outside playing a video game, because that makes sense, you could turn off the backlight and it would just be the sun illuminating the game. I remember the days of the Game Boy Color where I had to like find a good spot kind of in the mixture of sun and shade to really see my screen.
That was the worst, man. That was fucking terrible.
And then I get that little stupid fucking twirly wire light attachment that would like sit over my Game Boy like a lamp.
Yeah.
And it would brighten my screen.
Everyone's Game Boys were like mini Transformers. They would have so many attachments. Like that big magnifying attachment was the best thing.
That was my favorite one. It was like the old person attachment.
Oh, yeah. I remember that one. I had that on my fucking Advance, just the normal Game Boy Advance. That square piece of shit. Oh my god, I forgot all about that. That bothers me. I think I found that recently too, and I wanted to throw it.
Yeah, it like distorted the screen because it was a curved screen.
Yeah, it was like, what kind of fucking? Yeah. Do you think this is innovative? Like, what is this thing? As a kid, I'm like squinting. I'm like, what?
You need to get the bifocal one. That would
there was a second attachment that went on top of that attachment and made it work perfectly.
I don't know how certain games made it. I actually have, funny enough, my Game Boy Advance or Game Boy Color right next to me. Hold on. Does it make a sound when you turn it on?
Ding.
No. What the fuck?
I heard it click when you click the thing.
Yeah, I heard it click.
When you pull down the
Hold on, I got
switch.
my SP. 1 second.
Hold on. Because I want to... Yes, I'm blowing into the cartridge right now. Throwback.
Why? Don't do it. It doesn't work.
It's. I want to do mine. Listen.
That beautiful sound.
That's amazing.
I'm playing it right now. And it's like I'm playing.
There's so much nostalgia
Oddworld right now, and it's like, how do people play this game? Like, I just
Oddworld was a great game though.
Wait, you were playing a Game Boy version of Oddworld? That sucked. I had it.
Yeah, I played Munch's Odyssey, Stranger's Wrath. Like, I played basically every Oddworld game. I mean, I know Exodus came out. I never played that, but they did like a remaster that I want to get to. But like, I love Oddworld so much. But yeah, I have Tetris. I can switch to Tetris right now.
He's just playing.
This is the best podcast ever.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull out my Motorola Razor and play the Brothers in Arms game that I got for it.
Well, I'm more so shocked that this works. 1989 from Bulletproof. That's an interesting choice of words for a Tetris developer.
This sounds terribly interesting. Can you guys out there in the internet hear how awesome this sounds? Describe the colors. Does it have black and white?
There's black right now. There's red. There's yellow.
Both of them?
They got quite a few colors right now.
Matty, ask the next question.
I'll shut it off now. The next question is from Voltier95. How long would it take to actually fully level a character to all their specials, or put all their specials at 10, and how long do you think until some maniac will have done it first? We're obviously talking about
the morning after the game releases, someone is going to have done this.
As soon as they figure out the console commands, that's it.
Yeah.
Well, if we get review copies, it could be us.
Yeah. check out my fucking level 275. That's where it stops, people. Not literally, but
insane.
Yeah, not literally, but that's where all the perk ranks are done, all the specials are done. You have leveled up everything.
Yeah. I can't wait for mods to be released where you have to be at like level 250 to play the mod. Like that, I think that could be really cool.
It's gonna be so intimidating. God damn it, I'm not that level now. I can't wait for the
additional
additional
obsessive
perk ones.
fans. They're just ruining the game industry.
I know, right?
I can't wait for like the additional perk ones because those are bound to come and he'll add a lot more to it.
Is the DLC that gives you a level 11 in all your specials?
That's a good thought.
Oh, that's the Nigel Tufnell.
What?
Oh, that's a cool test. Oh, you all failed the cool test for not knowing Nigel Tufnell.
Should I Google him right now?
I got it.
Who is he? Or it? Or her? Nigel's a male's name, so I'm gonna go with her. Him, I mean, rather.
Is a fictional guitar player.
Okay.
Very good.
That's all?
Oh, that's your first hint, yeah.
Is it from Doug?
Him. Spinal Tap.
Nigel Thornberry.
Smashing!
All right, so I guess on next week's Artsy Smartsy stuff on GNN, we're going to have to do Spinal Tap now, since it's part of the Fallout canon about going to 11.
Charles, when during that segment you say, like, read this book, I tried to read the book, but I just don't have time. I'm so sorry.
I'm the co-host.
Yeah, that book is great, yeah.
Wait, Atlas Shrugged is kind of a dystopian world, so we're going to make people try to read that within 1 week.
Isn't that what Bioshock was based on? Huh? Atlas Shrugged?
Largely, yeah.
Inspired.
Don't read Atlas Shrugged, it's so bad. In the middle of it, there's a 60-page speech that Ayn Rand just wrote, like, that was just a diatribe on her, like, philosophical ideals, and it's just not good.
Apparently, there's a documentary film about it too. That's interesting. A part 1. Okay.
They made a trilogy of Atlas Shrugged films, which are terrible. Even if you love Ayn Rand like me, the films are awful. But listeners that want to learn about objectivism, you should start with We the Living. It's her first and shortest book.
And then don't read any more.
Commie.
I'm curious what your definition of a short book is, because a lot of people have a definition of a short book. How long is this book?
All right. Well, Atlas Shrugged is I think it's like the third longest book in the English language.
Holy shit!
Yeah. So We the Living is substantially shorter. I think it's like 200 or 300 pages.
Oh, okay, that's short. Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah.
I'm a free market capitalist who's pro taxes, and I still hate Ayn Rand. She makes no sense.
We'll see, because like I was saying, everyone has their own definition of like book length, and like I'm not even stretching the truth there. Like my brother can read like Harry Potter's notorious for being like 900 something pages. My brother can read one of those in like half a day. Like he just flies through it. It's insane.
It's a big font though.
Yeah, but, yeah, I guess, but. I mean,
I feel like, though, we can only really have one real hobby that we get immersed in. For me, that's video games. I just don't have time to read books as well. I'd love to. My girlfriend keeps telling me to read Harry Potter, but it's just not going to happen.
Harry Potter sucks. I'll tell you now, okay? Everyone,
my
friend...
Maddie says Harry Potter sucks.
Hold on, I'm listening for a response. Speak?
Okay, we're no longer friends, is what she said.
Oh.
Are you still trying to get your Game Boy to work in the background there?
Yeah. Anyway.
I'm gonna die right now.
Next question.
The final question comes from the fantastically named Bacon Rifle. And he asks, what's your opinion on having underwater combat in Fallout 4? Now, this may sound like a crazy question, but, in the settlement trailer, they had like an open door that clearly led to the ocean. I'm pretty sure that you can use power armor underwater. Am I correct on that? So, with that being said, and obviously, they have the perk for endurance, it is endurance, where you can hold your breath longer underwater, which naturally ties in with endurance in previous Fallout games. But it just kind of sparked the idea for Fallout fans: is there going to be an emphasis on underwater exploration You even tie in the concept art as well, which had an emphasis on the coastline and water and stuff. You know, do you guys think
we've kind of had this, haven't we? Like in New Vegas, there was the vertibird or something in the river or the lake.
B-28.
The lady in the lake.
Yeah,
that's the bomber.
Yeah.
Which is real, by the way. There really is a bomber that crashed into the Colorado River.
You can actually pay to do a scuba tour.
That's awesome.
That's sweet.
I didn't know about.
I'll bring my power armor.
But you know, like, I guess because Fallout has a couple of cool aquatic creatures in it, I think it'd be cool if they really explored that, and you could run around with like I'm gonna put on my tinfoil out here. You know, you run around with some type of fucking spear gun at the base of the ocean.
That would be cool.
I'm gonna rant here because I like the general concept of having the underwater combat, but most games don't do it well. They limit you to you've got to get the damn spear gun, and then you got to go to the surface to get your oxygen, and so it's more of a nuisance. Some games have done it really well where you can explore but you don't fight, and that I think is kind of neat where the player isn't really concerned with making sure you've got enough ammo for the right gun. You just have to go in and make sure you've got enough air to get to the right place and then come back up. And it's like Skyrim did that,
where you'd go into those underwater segments where you'd like leave. Fuck, I'm having a mind blank right now. What's the name of the city? Rapture. Yeah, thank you. You'd leave Rapture. You'd still be in Rapture, so to say, but like you'd be in the ocean at this point.
Yes,
and you could find slugs there too. Yeah, that was cool.
And most of the Tomb Raider games do this really well, too. They'll have swimming levels, which are swimming exploration, but not necessarily swimming combat.
Mm-hmm. I just hate when then they throw combat, like mobs into that, and it's like, and then it's like it's not like sneak past like the Mirelurk Queen, and but it's always like, you aggroed a Mirelurk that we put here, and then didn't give you any means to defend yourself. Yes. Too bad.
The Witcher 3 had a little bit of this, which, I thought was acceptable, but not thrilling.
Yeah, not needed either, in my opinion. The crossbow underwater you're talking about, where you just kind of like freeze up and like aim, and it's one shot and they're dead. It's like, just don't put anything here.
And if you think back to the original Half-Life, where way back then, the Gordon Freeman's default handgun was the only weapon that worked underwater. Mm-hmm. So it was something. It's like, well, it's kind of neat that you're exploring, but I think it's just stupid that the mechanics for this are just limiting you to this one stupid weapon. And like Austin said, you may aggro the thing and just not have enough ammo to deal with it, and then you're screwed.
Or in Fallout, you could aggro a Mirelurk, and then you have no options other than to. That's what you mentioned Fallout New Vegas and going to raise up the bomber. That's that happens to me every time I do that quest, because there's freaking lake lurks there, and they see me and they're like, I'm gonna get you, and I'm like, well, I guess I'll try to swim away real fast because fucking can't do shit.
Yeah. I don't know. Every time somebody mentions like water combat or exploration in a video game, I just have terrible flashbacks of the water temple from Zelda. I'm thinking, fuck, not again. I don't know if you guys have played it, but it's fucking terrible.
I've always hated water levels in every game ever.
Super Mario, I hated them.
Donkey Kong Country,
Yep.
So I'm guessing we're getting like a no. I mean, for me, I just think my worst experience with water combat was definitely Morrowind. Because it was like, I remember swimming. No, I'm not even kidding. I remember swimming across this giant lake and being attacked by these creatures.
Draugr. No, they weren't Draugr. They were those crab people.
Yeah.
What are they called?
I forgot what they were called. No,
they do start with a D. I know that.
And they just endlessly hit me, and like, so I take out my sword and I start swinging underwater, and there's just like this chance-based combat system that's now been dumbed down to even worse because I'm underwater now, and I'm like, fucking whiffing, and then he hits me because he's in his home turf, and I just die, and I'm like, this is just the worst. Like, just let me swim peacefully.
And Morrowind was bad because if you didn't swim, then there were the cliff racers. It was just make that noise.
That's
not really. So if Bethesda is listening, you've got like 6 weeks to pull out all the underwater combat from your game.
Yeah, basically.
Well, no, man, what they do good. Give me an underwater minigun.
I was gonna say that, but I thought that'd be
power
too tinfoily. But I'm glad that Austin has said that. Yeah, like a fucking, I don't know, something really absolutely insane that it's so crazy that you have to love underwater combat, you know?
Yep. I like that. Or maybe we can even like go underwater and have a gun where you can just shoot fish and that you eat fish. I don't know. It could be
an underwater mini nuke.
Yeah, because that's what.
Oh wait, there's
the
the junk jet. You can take the junk jet underwater and just suck up whatever stuff is floating around and fire a water
I'm
blast.
gonna kill one.
You
fish
suck
with
up a
another
shark or some shit. I don't know. You go up to the surface and you shoot it at some super mutant.
That's clever.
Anyways, that wraps up all their questions and the final segment of episode 31 of the H.A.M Radio Podcast. I forgot to change that on my script. Okay, there we go. We're good.
Nice way to end it, Matty.
Yes.
So at the end of every podcast, Charles, you've been a part of this. We like to get the guests to end it. So we're going to get Austin to end this week's podcast.
Oh, dear God.
So all of us are going to stop talking, and then you're going to end it. So take it away.
Are there any credits that I need to be aware of?
Nope.
Just have fun.
Okay. Well, thank you for listening to the H.A.M Radio No, I'm sorry. Well, thank you for listening to the H.A.M Radio Podcast. I am Charles, and my compatriot Austin is here. And also
Hello,
with
I'm Austin.
Maddie and the Lone Vault Wanderer. You should come back next week for more, and you should also check out our podcast if you haven't yet, GNN. It is over on the ShoddyCast, and you should subscribe to all of us on Twitter. I don't know everyone's by heart. Charles Battersby with no Y at the end, I believe.
Yes.
Charles.
Mine's A.R. Horrigan.